Uh, See, Aisha, there is no easy answer, and I don't think you will get a clear answer because there are just too many moving parts. So what we can do is perhaps look at technicals, look at the trends, things which in a sense have been the pain point. Is the pain reducing? First is that where are we finding support? And I think it is evident that closer to 22,800, and I think we will be repeating this number, and we've been repeating this number for the longest time. This market or Nifty is finding reasonable amount of support. Now call it a double bottom, call it a level at which the market is able to attract buyers. The bottom line here is that the market in a sense, at least Nifty in a sense, is finding support at that level. Second pain point for the market has been FI selling, FI selling, FI selling. What is happening there? Now here's where there is a bit of an encouragement, and I'm trying to not sound, a compulsive positive here, but purely looking at the data, the FI intensity is reducing in the cash market, and in the F&O market they've started buying, which clearly means in the near term there seems to be a change in their short positioning. That's the point number 2, that the FI positioning now seems to be perhaps more constructive rather than going short. In a market, if you're going short always, and if you're selling in the F&O market, that means you're outright bearish. When the cash intensity reduces and when the F&O activity, which is a short-term indicator of hedging or what the near-term, data points are moving, it clearly means that there is a change in the bearish opinion. So Nifty is finding support, FI buying seems to be reducing, and yesterday for the first time after a gap of 2 weeks, we saw some life in mid and small cap stocks. Now, I'm not saying they're out of the ICU. They are certainly still in the hospital.
But they're off the ventilator, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. But you never know.
Yeah, because looking at the long holding in the F&O space, the FI holding is still very minuscule at 16%, and retail is still dominating the large chunk with 70% positions.
I think it will be a grind up, Aisha. You have to first realize that US markets are strong, so you don't have pressure. It's just that things which in a sense have been the trigger points which have been inducing selling, those pain points are reducing. Dollar index, crude, geopolitical crisis, policy has pivoted. So there is far more positive aspects or factors on the horizon rather than really looking at the negative. A lot of event risk are behind us. Crude has decisively gone down. Dollar index is behaving itself. Reserve Bank of India has pivoted. Valuations are no longer stretched. So you need to have a positive frame of mind. Within that, what we have to understand and debate is that where would be that technical bottom? Could it be, have we touched that? Or it is likely to be rediscovered in coming months? Nobody knows, and only hindsight will figure it out. But you just should not be very scared in this market now. It's too late to sell, and perhaps it's just the right time to nibble back into the market now. What you should buy, how you should avoid, we'll talk about it. But prima facie, you should have a, like all managements bolte hain na hamare aaker ke, cautiously optimistic. Cautiously optimistic. That's I was looking for a word, standard, cautiously optimistic. It covers both. If you get it right, see, we told you. We got it right, we also advised you not to buy.
Yeah, well, cautious is how the Fed Reserve as well is, it seems. Look at the Jan minutes. They're saying that they need to still monitor inflation progress before lower rates further. They're saying that Trump's policies create uncertainty for the macro outlook. They're saying the inflation progress is stalled since mid-2024. They see upside risk to inflation outlook in 2025, see potential for geopolitics to create supply disruptions as well. So a whole lot of caution in their commentary for sure. They're saying they can keep policy restrictive if the economy is strong. Trade, immigration policies could hinder disinflation. High uncertainty warrants a careful approach, according to the Fed. But let's see what's happening with the US equity markets. Once again, it was an all-time high, both for the S&P as well as the NASDAQ overnight. The S&P managed to eke out a gain of about almost 14 odd points. The Dow on its way to that 100-point gain, 71 points higher is where it shut shop for the day. And it was a flat close for the NASDAQ. That new Apple entry-level iPhone 16e, you didn't have much enthusiasm at least rubbing off on Nasdaq or the stock overnight because of this launch. So the Nasdaq as well closed in absolutely flat for itself. But yeah, Trump and Musk, that duo continues to make headlines.
You know, I just don't know how to react and what to say, because everybody in a sense is second guessing what is coming next. Is this posturing, or is this the real way in which how things would actually stack up in terms of policy making? Very difficult to ascertain. As of now, the general view which everyone has is that tariffs have been imposed but they've not been implemented, threatening in terms of, or you know, a more like a tariff warning has gone to just about everybody, but there is no real substance in terms of how it would be implemented and which companies and which countries would be affected. And then there is this entire Make America Great Again push, which surely will have implications at least in some of the large sectors like pharma, auto, manufacturing. So rather than second guessing now that what is coming next, I would say let's just wait for the announcements. Let's understand the impact in terms of how things would move, because it's getting very difficult, at least for us sitting here, to really judge the mind of US President Donald Trump and what and how things would actually moving up. A reset button has been pressed. It's just that rather than preempting everything and connecting the dots without any news or without any implementation, I think it's getting very difficult. And everybody who second guessed that what the first 1 month of US president would be, I think they pretty much have not managed to judge his entire communication so far.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.